Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is the day we get the highest quarterly close in XRP's history. I know it doesn't feel like it, but that is definitely the case. We are looking at it right now. The quarterly candle, which is the 3 month candle, right? So this is the second quarter of the year, and it's about to close in less than 5 hours by the time you see this video. And we can see the candle right here is definitely the highest candle out of all of the candles. And we got a lot of candles. Look at all those candles. So this is going to be the highest quarterly close in XRP's history. So what does that mean? Well, the last quarter, we had the highest quarterly close in XRP's history. The quarter before that, we had the highest close in XRP history. So this will be the third quarter in a row where it's the highest. We still have 5 hours left, so I don't want to jinx it, but essentially, I'm going to put this one right here because that was the previous close. So all we have to do, guys, is in the next 5 hours close above $2.09, basically. So close above 209, we are totally in price discovery, right? From a quarterly perspective. So what does this mean? Well, what if, okay, let's say the candle closes at 220 or so. What does that mean? Well, that means that we're closing, right? Not once, not twice, but 3 times in price discovery, right? Which is essentially reducing the pressure for it to go up, right? Because there's a lot of pressure at resistance, right? You have all this resistance here and you feel that pressure and you want to go down. But when you break above it and you close above it, then you basically reduce that pressure. You still have the pressure, but it's more sustainable. So the only bearish thing would be kind of this wick here, and this wick here, right? You're kind of wicking. It's trying to get above it, but it's not really. The other bearish thing is that we are also on a quarterly 9, right? So this is a quarterly 9 sell. But just because you get the quarterly 9 sell doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to crash all of a sudden, right? Because it could take another candle, right? And one candle is 3 months. So you could see the RSI is looking okay here. So let's go down to the 1 month. And I think, is there a 2-month chart? Yeah, so also the 2-month chart closes as well. So we have the 1 month, the 2 month, and the 3 month. And the 2-month chart is also going to have the highest 2-month close in XRP history. Now, if we look at the 1 month, we still have a lot of work to do, right? The highest monthly close was $3, right? So what's the goal here? Well, the goal is to get above those red dots. You see those 3 red dots right around 235, right? So, we're kind of building a base here. So we need to fill in this space, right? We need to get in here and we need to keep that momentum pushing. We already had the weekly close, which was a bullish engulfing weekly candle close, right? So all of this is coming. Wow, look at the 10-day chart. I like that. Look at this. You can see the base right in here, and you see that wick, and then you see the candle trading above the bullish hammer candle. That's pretty nice. The 2-week chart, just kind of scouting around here. Still half a week left, a whole week to go with this one. So let's zoom in here, looking at the 3-day chart, and I think it's very bullish. I mean, you can see all of these red dots right in here, right? So this is a really tough area, right? And you can see we're kind of cupping in, we're cupping in, and potentially we're cupping into the resistance, not cupping down. Like if this is support, you're cupping down, that's bad, right? Versus you're cupping up, because it wants to break out instead of break down. So you could see that's what's happening. So that's a bullish thing. Another bullish. So how many bullish things has that been already? Right? You got the quarterly, which is probably the most bullish. And then you also have everything else we just talked about. But then also you have a wave 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then now this could be 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be the fifth wave, right? It could be the fifth wave that we're about to see. So what is needed for this fifth wave to occur? Well, we need Bitcoin to start, pushing. We need the stock market, right? When we look at the stock market, it's at all-time highs. So that's good. So everything is basically kind of like primed for the environment needed for XRP to go up. Now, if you look at the charts today, everything is down. Look at THETA down almost 10%. Dog, 7, right? Look at this. AVAX is down 4.5. THETA is down 3.5. XRP is kind of flat today, right? Bitcoin, because we had that big pump Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, and then it kind of fizzled out, right? Bitcoin's down 1%. So basically everything's down. But look at THETA Fuel. THETA Fuel is up almost 7%. What is going on with THETA Fuel today? So that's interesting. I've never seen where everything is down pretty bad and THETA Fuel is actually up significantly. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's still looking good, right? THETA Fuel, we'll talk about it, but essentially we got, 3 waves up, we got 3 waves down. We're right at support here. So you would expect either this be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have one more low, or the low is in, and we're going to start working our way back into the retrace levels, right? So these levels right in here, right? So 3 up, 3 down, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up potentially, and eventually get back into the, like what, 30, 40 cent area. But we'll touch on that in a minute. But going back to XRP real quick, you can see it actually looks really good. It's looking really, really good here. So even from the weekly perspective, right, you got A, B, C, D, and E. You have a completed triangle, right? Obviously, we know that. We broke out of the triangle, right? We're chilling right at resistance while making quarterly highs, while we're flagging out in this expanded flat, because this is an expanded flat, A, B, C, right? And now we have this wave up, and then now we're cocking back like a loaded gun. So this is the perfect environment for this thing to shoot up. And that's what we're waiting for. And it could happen literally today, tomorrow. It could happen this week. It looks like it's going to happen this week. You can see our previous week was a bullish engulfing candle. And this week, I don't know why that's a red 1. It should be a green 2. I don't understand that. So you have a green 1. You have a green 2. I'm not sure why this is a red 1. But I guess it doesn't matter because we're on the weekly. I'll just get rid of that. So, but yeah, you can see this candle is trading above the engulfing candle, right? So you didn't really need to get, away from the scene of the crime, right? Obviously, when you come down pretty hard, you want to kind of build a little base and then go up to give yourself space between the rise up and the crash down, right? Because you have opposing forces, right? Gravity is trying to pull it down, right? No, but seriously, if we look at some lines right in here, let's just draw a trend line here. You can see how perfect that trend line is, right? I mean, you're literally right at the verge of breaking out here. And then you can also put one right there. So this is kind of like a bullish pennant. I don't like it a lot. It looks okay, but it's probably not politically correct. It's probably more correct if I did it like this. But this is more bearish, right? Because it's a descending triangle. But you have more touches, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As opposed to having, what is that? Like 1, 2, 3. So there's definitely more confluence on this one here. So if this is a descending triangle, most of the time they break to the downside. But since we're in a bullish phase, right, most of the time they break to the downside, but that's because they're coming down. So if you come down like this, right, and then you build your triangle like that and then break down. So it's a continuation pattern. But this is going down. This is going up into a descending triangle. So the odds increase. The odds still favor a move down, but the odds increase significantly because you're in a bullish trend. And then also the odds increase because this is a flat and it's part of a fourth wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? As opposed to being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you get the descending triangle on the fifth wave. That would definitely most likely go down, right? So I think this descending triangle is going to break to the upside. It looks like it needs to. It looks like it wants to. So, and I would argue that it already did, guys. It already broke above. So if you don't, the downward resistance line right here, this is your supply line. You cannot go through the bodies of the candles. Like that's going through the bodies. You don't want that. You can also go through the wick and you could be extremely conservative with it, but then you only have 2 touches, right? So it's not, you basically want the line to be as, close to the line as possible without breaking the bodies. So actually going through the wicks is okay. So right there, you can see right there, you're kind of going through the body right there. See it? So if I raise it up just a little bit more, and let's see right there. There we go. That's perfect. So we have a pump here on the smaller time frames. Look at this, right? You kind of have like this cup and this handle here. You got this impulse, and you have an A, B, C. That's a flat right there. Look at A, B, C. A 3-wave move. Impulse, 3-wave pullback. Well, would you look at that? We're pumping. So even going down to the 1-minute chart, you can see the pump just in the last. You can see we kind of bottomed here. So it looks like it's just getting started. Let's see if we get some more upside here. It's looking pretty good. But anyways, let's continue the analysis zoomed out. Okay, and you can see none of the candles are going through the line. So here we go. So here's the weekly chart. Let's actually go to the 2-week chart. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so there's really nothing there. I was, let's see, the 10-day. 10-day looks okay. Yeah, so I'm just looking at a few things. This one's interesting because the 5-day chart, look at that. So we have 4 days left, and it looks like we're breaking out. So, and you can see, all right, so let's go, I think we were at the weekly. Okay, here we go. Here's the weekly chart. Again, we have 1 week left. So this weekly candle just started. So there's, we still have a whole week before we know that it's going to break out. But if this sucker comes way up here, it's most likely going to stay up. It's most likely going to stay above this line, right? Because what is the problem? The problem is you're in a descending triangle. So if this ends up being a wick and we come back down in here, and then we come back up, and then we come back down, and then we come back up, and then we kind of do this, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to crash. That's why it is imperative. That's why it is so crucial. It is critical that we break this now. We need to go now because we barely have any room left. Usually triangles break out around 70 to 72 to 75% of the way there. Well, to me, it looks like we're like 80% or even 90%, right? So if I start it right here and I go right to the end, that's 266 days. Okay, and right now we're at 210. So what is the percentage of 210 out of 260? I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but there you go. I think that's it's basically it's time. I would imagine. So there we go. That's basically it for the weekly chart. Now let's zoom in to the smaller time frames. But first, you can also see a little channel right in here. Right there, a little bull flag. So actually, let's remove everything and zoom in here. And you can see on this time frame, on the 2-day chart, very beautiful. Look at this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you came down for 5. And then you had that nice wick. And then you also had bullish divergence, I think. No, not on this time frame. Maybe the daily. Not even the daily. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of a different chart or a different asset. Yeah, there's no divergence at all on this. Okay. No, not even on the 2-day. So I don't remember exactly which one it was. But no problem. So you still have 5 waves, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, you're essentially just flagging out in here, right? And you can see we're starting to break above that flag. So let's look closely now, and let's put some lines up here. And it's kind of reminding me a little bit. Of kind of the way it's going sideways here. Like back in the day, if I can go back in time real quick, and if we look way the hell over here, you can see, some sideways chop, right? Now, I'm not saying it's the same kind of look, but what do you have? You have the same kind of thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 waves down, right? And then as you're doing that 5th wave down, you're also basing out. So if we think about that, it's kind of the same thing here, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that 5th wave, you're basing out in here. You're actually doing it higher, actually sort of in the 3rd and the 4th. So, eventually you want this thing to get moving here. So let's look a little more closely at this. So basically at the 1 hour chart, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's the thing, right? It could be finish. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you still have to come all the way back down to $2 before going up. Now, I don't know about that. It doesn't look proportional to me. It doesn't, because if you think about it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you see those big 4th waves in there. 1, 2, small, 1, 2, small, third, big 4, 5, 5. It could be done, right? And you can see we're already pulling back here. Look at that. Right at the top. You can also look at it kind of from a inverse perspective. You kind of have like a little shoulder, a head, and another shoulder here. And then you flagged out, and then you broke out. So, yeah, that's a good thing. So, we're nothing exciting is going to happen until we break this range. We got to break the range. And I'm not even talking of the big range. I'm talking about this small range in here, right? Let's just get this range out of the way, you know? So let's go up to the 12 hour. And if I could literally put this way over here and put this one way over here, right? So, and then you kind of have this, you know, this kind of this gray area here, right there, right? So that's the area we need to get into. So how do we get there? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. But real quick before I do that, the retracement levels, right? Where could we potentially halt into? Well, you got the 702, basically right in here between 236 and 250. So that's the level we got to get into. We got to break above that level, right? Because as long as we're below that level, we have bearishness, right? Because obviously this is correcting. It's correcting, right? So if we get a move like that, we get a move like that, you know, it'll help us get out of this. So let's look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin, I mean, what can you say, right? You got a big impulse to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you have a 3-wave pullback. So you would expect this to be a 1, 2, and then let's keep moving, right? The thing we don't know is this going to be more complex because you have a low, a lower low, or I'm sorry, a high, a lower high, a lower high, a low, a lower low. So lower highs and lower lows, right? So we need a higher high first. So, you know, to me, it looks like it can be done, right? You have A, B, C, it's perfect. And then if this is a 1, and then you flag out for a 2, then we can go up for a 3. I mean, that would be the idea. That's the main idea, right? Basic. The other idea sucks because you basically have 3 down. This would turn into like 3 up, you know, something like that. And you're not going to even know until it's already done, right? And it's going to look like an inverse. And then what happens? You get 3 down or 5 down and then go up. And then it becomes ABC, right? A bigger ABC. So is that going to play? So do we need, you know, more downside? Well, it looks like we have 5 potentially here. 1, 2, you know, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that 5th looks corrective. So you kind of need to come down, I think. You need to come down for a little bit, then go up. So we'll see. Let's see, XRP versus Bitcoin. Look at that. I figured that was going to look something interesting, but still you're kind of stuck in this range. So you got a double bottom here. Let's see if we can get going. But I don't think it's going to get going because the rest of the market isn't going, right? So is there any news? Not really. Watch these levels. XRP mining launches revolutionary cloud mining mobile application. I don't know. Maybe that could be something. I don't think so. Ripple next in lawsuit. Well, first of all, the lawsuit's over with. They're just trying to end it, right? They're just trying to make it official, but it's already done, right? Both sides agreed it's over, so there's nothing there. But you're waiting for that official whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything. So if we go to X, let's type in XRP, and there's nothing. Oh, here we go. Oh, whoa. Just in, the SEC accepts Grayscale's application to convert its XRP trust into a spot ETF. That was 5 hours ago, and nobody wrote about it yet. So I don't. Maybe that's um, um, just looking here. Just looking. Donald Trump has changed his bio. The golden age of America is now. Okay. I don't even know if that's actually his account. Dark Defender. Bro, why is your lines... What is with this line right here? I don't get that line. That line is not right, bro. I'm sorry. But you're in the bodies. Like, why did you go through all of these bodies? I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. I just see it from one person, so I don't see anything else. So let me type in XRP ETF. You guys are probably going to know by the time you watch this video. It's already going to be late, but I'm just looking here. Major Grayscale XRP could reportedly get SEC approval as early as this week. So if the price is moving and there's rumors, what do? You buy the rumor. You buy it. And then when the news comes out, you sell it, right? That's usually the way it goes. But that's the opposite in which everyone does, right? They wait for the news to come out, then they buy it, then they get screwed. But I don't think you're going to get screwed because you got to look at crypto as a long-term situation. Well, here we go. Cointelegraph, SEC acknowledges amendment to convert Grayscale digital large cap fund into an ETF. Okay, well, I think we got our answer. All right, so something to do with the ETF. And remember, what is the ETF? It's ammunition. Ammunition. I've always talked about ammunition. I'm big on that because that's what keeps the story unfolding. It's what keeps people loyal to crypto, right? Because why would you be in crypto if nothing good is going to come, right? People are in crypto. Why? Because they expect good news to come. Like what? Utility, regulations, ammunition, right? ETF. The Bitcoin futures, right? Elon putting it on his Tesla balance sheet. I mean, anything positive, right? China unbans Bitcoin for the 90th time. I don't know, like anything really. So, all right, so we covered that. Let's look at Ethereum now. So Ethereum looks like it's cocking back. It looks like a loaded gun, guys. It looks like a loaded gun to me. So you have an A, a B, and a C. You have a flat. It's always those expanded flats. Again, right here is a prime example. Where's my Bitcoin chart at? Right here is a prime example of a beautiful flat. And you can see how it works right here. Look, A, B, C. That's a flat, right? It's always that shape. It could be this shape. It could be this shape, right? It could be this shape. That's a running flat. That's a regular flat. That's an expanded flat. I mean, you guys know that. So let's go back here to Ethereum really fast. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm going to look at THETA in just a second. But Ethereum is more important right now because it's, we're looking for the big signals, right? And the big signals come from the big charts, right? Like the top 10. So here's your range right here. And you essentially have a flat here, right? So you have 3 waves down, you have 3 waves up, and you have 3 waves back down, guys. So this could be W, X, Y. This is a flat. It's a running flat, right? Now, there's no guarantee it's over because what could happen is
Iran can blow up something and we can have a fifth wave. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we still go down for 5, right? And then you break out. So that's the thing. Do we get that wave to the downside? Do we get that crash? I don't know. I don't think so. But you never know during these times, right? So there's a lot of surprises. But yeah, Ethereum looks really, really, really good, I think, here. Because why? And you don't even have to look at this. Mainly, you have to look at this, the last move, right? And the last move was very bullish. Why? Because it was a 3-wave move. It had an oscillation to it. It's not like this where you're capitulating, right? This is a correction, right? Obviously, that was a correction too. It was bigger. But now you have this impulse that came out of it, and now you're flagging out. So this thing could get going very fast. I really kind of got screwed on Ethereum on my trade. I got a little wishy-washy in here, so I cut it, and I'm just waiting, because at first you had 3 there, you had 3 there, and you had 3 there. It looked like a perfect 3-way move. But what happened? It even broke out like it was going to go. But what happened? It crashed back down. Why? Because it turned into a more complex situation. So you have 3, and instead of this being 3, this whole damn thing was 3. And then this whole thing was 3, right? So it became much bigger, more complex. And that's what you got to watch out for, right? So Ethereum is looking good here. Let's zoom in. It looks like you got 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. Right? So what is going on here? Well, is this 3 like there? And then this is a 1, 2, and this is like 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, and then another 1, 2. I don't know. I mean, it looks corrective, and it looks like it's wanting to go. So that's cool. Let's see if it goes. All right, let's change gears and let's look at some altcoins here. I mean, the altcoins are really going to be the ones that make you extremely rich, but they're also the most dangerous because you got to time it perfectly where Bitcoin is going up, if you're trading. But if you're hodling, you're buying, just buy, and wait. And that's all you got to do. And anybody can do it, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I wish I can learn crypto. You don't have to learn crypto. You just have to buy it. I don't learn how a bank transfers my money when I pay a mortgage, right? But I just do it. I don't have to understand how it works. I just do it, right? So, the same thing with crypto. You just download Coinbase or whatever app and buy it. It's so simple. But people act like they don't understand it. Like, you don't have to understand it. It's a stock, right? It's just like buying a stock. You just buy it and you hold it and you forget about it. And then in 5 years you go, whoa, I'm thankful I did that. Or you could be like me and buy it every chance, every extra dollar I have that isn't being saved or used. I try my hardest to put it into crypto because I know over time it's going to grow. And you can say, well, you put $1 into crypto, right? And then it came down. Well, who cares? It came back up, came back down. Just because it came back down doesn't mean it's over. It means that I'm getting more opportunities. You say, well, I don't have any money left. Well, then you need time. It's all about time and money and time. SHIB looks, I think, great. I think it looks phenomenal, right? Why? Because you have this wave right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So A, right? And then you have this B wave here, right? Or maybe B is there. And then you have C. So you have over a 1 year 3-way pullback. So this thing should go up, guys. That's what I'm expecting. Unless